Right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everyone diddly doing? It's 7 p.m. on a Tuesday, and we're talking about Ripto, the standard. Doing great. Excellent, 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 excellent. I'm going to load it up a little bit. You're in useless? Nice. So am I. I'm going to load it up with this, the big Breakout evaluation giveaway. So if you buy a Breakout prop account and use the code Charlie at checkout, you will get a discount, and then you will also get entered into this. Now, there's not many people in this at the minute, so your chances of winning are reasonably high. That could change. Not financial advice. Breakout prop and my partners, obviously. So shout out to them for sponsoring the stream. Let's love the no music. Excellent. Fuck, dude, we missed hype. Nah, I'm not gonna hype up with music. I can't be fucked tonight. Like we're just chilling. No music, no background, just me, my voice, a ref code which you need to use on Breakout Prop, obviously, to support me. Thank you very much. Love you. Give you my time. You give me your, well, not your money because I don't want your money, but you know, the love of Breakout Prop. Yeah, it's okay. What, the no music thing? Yeah, it's different, isn't it? I mean, I might put music on because I might get bored of hearing my own voice, but yeah, we'll see. The boom and plays are so good. So, I mean, I started off the week in Paragon saying this is probably the week to pay attention. There's really no reason to be like uber bearish at the lows for me. You know, I tweeted earlier that like this is where I got bearish, like up at the Pico fucking highs. That's where I sold everything on like the 8th. I was, you know, pretty much out of absolutely everything, and then the market got wrecked and yada, yada, yada. You know, in a consolidating range while the rest of global markets fucking ripped to shreds. It's a little bit depressing that crypto's been so risk off, but you know, there is hope. There is hope in the fact that, you know, we've got a kind of series of higher lows. If you squint a little bit and look at these in terms of pullbacks. And also, you know, we're at quite an easy inflection point, right? We've had a downtrend in Bitcoin. We've had a pretty strong, you know, local downtrend just in terms of like local price action, right? I'm not even talking about all of this. And, you know, the way markets move, it's usually trend in one direction, consolidate, and then trend in another, consolidate, trend in another, and, you know, that's a bearish structure, and the opposite is true of a bullish one, right? You get pullbacks in high time frame uptrends, and you get spikes up in high time frame downtrends as well. Now, if that was a spike up in a high time frame downtrend, absolutely fine. You know, we've not been super bullish. I did play a little bit to the long side on the break of this range here, which is to me perfectly acceptable because the RR is it comes back into this range and you lose it, and that's the end of your rotation, which is what we did here. Or it runs, and the chance of you getting another good entry in this rally, as we've seen with Bitcoin so many times, is really fucking difficult, really fucking difficult, really fucking difficult. Yeah, there was kind of one here that's probably the best like consolidation opportunity you would have got because it's clean, right? It's a proper vertical, or sorry, horizontal little box of ranging price action, whereas this is vertical accumulation, which I fucking hate. So, you know, RR taking that trade, still pretty good in my opinion. I would go back and take the same trade again. And when I start saying things like that, I know it was a good trade, as opposed to, you know, oh, it was just a little whim of the moment. Like, no. If you put me back to that moment in time, I would do exactly the same thing again and again and again and again and again. Now, how do we trade this? Well, for me personally, I'm shit at trying to catch bottoms. So trying to catch Bitcoin down here is fucking useless to me. There are literally two trades, which is a strong sell-off with a fast and strong reclaim, and then we re-long the range lows, or we wait and we play range highs, or we play perhaps a mid-range reclaim, or we play something like the break of the downtrend and a reclaim of a low time frame range, right? And by low time frame range, I kind of mean this little bit of consolidation here. So if you think about how I was drawing out ranges on a high time frame basis, and you apply that same logic to this consolidation here, this reclaim here, plus a break of like local downtrend, okay, it's not perfect in terms of like this candle, yada, 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 fine, don't really give a fuck. I think people are exceptionally bearish on crypto, and I don't know if it's justified or not, to be honest. Like, from an altcoin perspective, which we will come on to, it absolutely is, because most altcoins are fucking shite. and they've just been dying on their ass for the last couple of weeks, which is why I've been really disinterested in crypto and really disinterested in trading, right? I ran an account 250% in October to November, or sorry, in October to December, in a downtrend, a strong downtrend in market. I absolutely rinsed it. So I got fuck all to prove to anyone. And if I want to lean into this, I probably could, but it's just not worth my effort, right? It's just difficult. It's just painful. I'll have to be scalping lots of little rotations just to catch a big runner. I did want to long some Fartcoin. I am in some useless, and that's kind of it. I've missed hype. Oh no, I've missed pump. Oh no, but there's just it's not the time for me to be balls deep risk on. There was a short opportunity on pump back here, which we went over. I did actually have an alert on the breakout of this range here on pump, but I never took it. Useless is this. So again, very similar structure to Bitcoin. Strong downtrend in price action, where we've actually got a deviation at the lows of this range, and yeah, we've got that reclaim, we've got that move, and we're kind of up like, I don't know, whatever that is, like 8% or something on it at the minute. It's, oh, maybe not. Maybe it was, yeah, 8% of the highs, but, well, 9% of the highs. But yeah, it's nothing particularly exciting. The market's pretty weak. Am I in ZEC? No. I did go through the trade plan in the Paragon group yesterday, Monday? Yes, yesterday, of this, which actually is playing out really well. I took useless. I did not take the ZEC trade. So, if I followed my own trading outlook, then I would have been better off. But yeah, sadly I didn't. Love the no music. Cool. We'll try it. And if people are watching this video later on, let me know if you prefer it with or without music. Because some people love it with music, some people love it without. I personally quite like it with music because it gives me something more to focus on other than my boring dulcet tones. But yeah, we'll see. Diggs Ball Company with no music. Boom and Play is so good. Yeah, it is. I'm in Zax, so no, I kind of answered that. Okay with either. Can you talk a bit about how you use time frame on spaghetti? Which time frames? Yes, of course. How was your beans on toast? Amazing. I think it's more comfy without. Cool. How did my PNL end up for 2025? I was giga down. I mean, I was up quite a lot. I've just done my tax return for the 2025 year ending 25, April 25, and it was fucking painful number to pay. But yeah, my trading P&L was really good. I went through lulls, peaks and troughs in terms of like P&L in general. Like most people think that like your P&L, because you've done this for so long, goes like this and it's all just like tiny drawdowns and stuff like that. Those P&Ls are fucking bollocks. They are people loading up accounts with ETH and just selling the ETH because you technically make a profit. And yeah, it's just fucking stupid. I've seen a few like that where it's just like there's never any drawdown. It's like, nah, mate, that's bollocks. My accounts look like this, and then I'll take a little loss for a little while, and then I go like this, and then it goes over a while. Actually, last year I probably went like this, then I went like this a little bit, and then I went like this, and then I had periods of just like absolute insane returns. I probably had something a bit more like this at one of the highs, and then a little bit of nothing for a little while, and then literally ran at fucking turbo. But even in the running at turbo bit, the running at turbo bit usually looks like this, right? It's pretty fucking brutal. It's not up only. Unless it is, full on ridiculous bull market shite. But it's probably never going to be like that again. Like the stream, guys? Yes, thank you very much. Usually my P&L ranges a ton, and L a few trades, then it goes up, then it ranges down again. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, a lot of people find this, you're floating. And to be blunt, like since the start of the year, I did. There was one point where I'd done 25 million volume for $11 profit, which is a fucking wild stat, right? And my P&L was like this, right? It's like that. My P&L's only up at the minute because of like spot useless and stuff, and I'm not really trading that much since the start of the year. So my personal objective, like this, a P&L that looks like this, i.e. that's zero, perfectly acceptable for these conditions. They're not my good conditions. They're not super strong from the perspective of like alt rotations and stuff, which we'll come on to in a minute. Like Pippin's ran, Monad has got a random scam pump, which is, oh look, wonder why. We'll cover that off maybe later, but maybe not because I don't want to get people in legal trouble. Hype, pump fun, it's just Yeah, it's just all the fucking same shit that was pumping before, right? And Pippin, which is a supply bundled piece of garbage dog shit, that's running, great. And then there was this penguin meme, which is just the latest like Trump insider pump and dump, which, yeah, well, great. And look, all the cunts that are paid to promote Pengu couldn't move it a single fucking inch. Penguin meta literally on point, and look at this, just fucking dead, just fucking dead. In the gutter, in the fucking bin. We've talked about Pippin a few times, and we talked about it at this at this level, and this was actually the trade plan from way back here. So it was this as an entry. So the thought process, it must have been on one of these streams because it's kind of a Tuesday night that it's around. But sport, 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 and then you reclaim, and then you go, and like this lingering at support. Again, you can go back to previous streams, and I've not like fudged this on here to make it look good. This was literally trade plan from last week, I believe. But you can catch shit like this, but it's fucking few and far between, isn't it? Let's be honest, the market's pretty shite. I'm just waiting for the kind of strength on BTC, which I do think is coming. If you put a gun to my head and you said, right, Charlie, have a guess, see what's fucking going on, try and predict the future. Which I don't like doing. I like reacting to what's in front of me. I like reacting to, strong price action and getting involved in strong price action. And that is just not this at the minute. This is downtrending PA. The long, I think, is above 889. I think that this is kind of where you get a decent swing to range highs and hopefully beyond. I do hope that we see some of that rotation from real gold to digital gold, so to speak, and we can pull off something like this. But for the foreseeable, it's just dull. Do I want to short this aggressively? Not particularly. I think the time to short aggressively was actually in here or up here where I did. I played a swing short here. I played a swing short here, both from my phone while I was having a shit. Yeah, they're not like super strong trades in terms of how I played it, but they were pretty decent, Not losing money already puts you up over 90% of the traders, honestly. Yeah, and I think this is the thing for me is like, when I'm looking at this, am I going, oh, this is a really strong chart? No, it's not at all. It's weak on a low time frame basis and on a high time frame basis, right? It's just not particularly strong. But I think we're getting to a point, like a really big inflection point. So when I'm looking at stuff like this, and I'm going, okay, well, I could take a trade like this. Like, this is where, if you're going to take a big swing at something, particularly if it sells off quite aggressively and reclaims and does something like that, and you want to long from here, if you do something like that, that can be, and again, not financial advice, but it could be an opportunity to use a breakout account and go for it on there and just go, right, well, I'm going to fucking punt this. I'm going to do this trade at, basically 100x leverage. And, this is where I am wrong. This is where my account dies. And this is where, I cash out, because you can pass on one trade from an evaluations perspective. So, yeah, I am pushing it. They are my partners. So, yeah, there's a good way to utilize those kind of accounts. FP&L drawdowns too. Yeah, I was just about to bring up Monad. Yeah, we'll come on to that. What's your recommendation? Who got wrecked last year and are feeling a little helpless in trading? I mean, like, I've never zeroed out, right? So I'm probably one of the worst people that you could talk to on this basis because I've never taken enough risk to do that. And that has meant, my P&L has looked like this. There's been chunks down. Of course, I've had fucking losses. But over a period of however long I've been fucking doing this now, like, well, it's nearly 8 years, I guess. Maybe more. When was it? Like mid 2017. Fuck me. It's nearly 9 years. So yeah, I've been doing this 8 years. Quite aggressively, and yeah, I've had drawdowns along the way. It's been like slow and steady, like up only. I've had some big wins along the way, obviously. Things like selling a Beeple NFT for 100,000x what I paid for it, and loads of other things, right? So I've definitely had like big bump ups along the way, but I've never zeroed anything out. So it's kind of like you're asking the wrong person. But the downside of my very well risk managed trading approach is that, you know, my P&L is never going to go from like $1 million to fucking 10 million overnight to 50 million overnight. Do you know what I mean? It's just not going to do that. I never put myself in a position where I can do that, because I also don't want to be in the position where I go from 1 million up to 5 million up to fucking zero, and literally bankrupt. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't do that. And there are people that do, and people that have made a lot of money doing that. And if you want to make, you know, tens of millions in the next 2 years, then you probably got to risk quite a lot. If you are happy, you know, generating years worth of expenses in a well risk managed way, which is what I do, you know, in a nice kind of, some months I'll go really hard, some weeks I'll go really hard. Some weeks I'll do fuck all and I'll just sit cash and just watch the market. And then as soon as we get like this, right? I mean, admittedly, I didn't play this very much because I was still New Year's-ing with lots of friends and family and stuff. I played this pretty hard, this rotation pretty hard, and then I gave a lot of it back here, if I'm being honest, because that's where I got to like my like $11. I think my $11 was technically here, but yeah, it was, you know, giving a lot back. Where else do we go pretty hard? We went pretty hard on it there, went pretty hard on it there. You know, you can see where I'm going hard and why, right? Most importantly, why? Why would I be leaning into a strong alt market when Bitcoin's in an uptrend? Because fucking alts don't run without Bitcoin being good. If Bitcoin dies, Bitcoin does this, all alts get fucked in the ass, right? So yeah. And if you're worried about like being wrecked and stuff, like I said, it's very hard for me to like give you any kind of insight into that. For me personally, if I got absolutely blown up, I'd ask myself quite a few questions. You know, is this what I want to do? How do I manage my risk going forward? Do I, you know, just put $1,000 into my account or $10,000 or whatever, and that's like my risk, and then I use leverage to manage the other side of it, noting that, you know, you've got maintenance margin and things that can fuck you over. So please, you know, look at that and understand the instruments that you're trading with and so on and so forth. Yeah, there's lots of different like things that I'd really evaluate. I mean, what I did when I lost a fuck ton in 2017 of profits, right? In 2017, I went 10x. Oh, sorry, I went like 20x, 30x. I cashed out 10x, and so that was gone. And then I went up to like 33x from here, and then I ran that way back down, minus 70% or something stupid. So, you know, in my head, I lost all of that. In other people's heads, I'm like, well, you're up, you know, a lot. For me, the psychology wasn't that. It was, you know, I lost all this. But anyway, you know, I had to take every penny out of crypto, so just completely null it out. I had to write a business plan and go, this is what I'm going to do. This is where I'm going to allocate it, blah, blah, blah. This is how I'm going to do it all. And then once I'd done all that, I put money back in, I reallocated, I managed things a bit better. I did weekly reviews of myself and lots of other shit like that, lots of boring stuff. I think most people think that crypto is incredibly fun. And it can be, like when you're doing on-chain stuff or when we were playing with NFTs. But trading, you know, is half the time sitting on your hands. It's half the time doing nothing. Yes, of course I want to wake up, press two buttons, and make thousands of dollars. Of course I do. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to fucking print someone's annual salary in 2 clicks? But the reality of it is that you just can't be doing that all the time, otherwise you will just go broke quite quickly. My breakfast? I don't eat breakfast, mate. I do not eat breakfast, and I actually said to myself I was going to get on my fucking walker while I was doing this. That's gone well, hasn't it? Come on, you lazy fat cunt. Let's fucking go. Bit of holding music while we load up. Crypto doesn't feel fun. Your risk management is better long term, which is proven. Yeah, exactly, mate. And it is proven. Like, you know, I'm not going to big myself up. Well, I am going to big myself up. I should big myself up on these fucking strengths that I've got, right? And for me, risk management is one of my biggest strengths. It always has been. Yeah, it kind of comes from my background, being fairly risk averse with money, being an accountant, all that kind of stuff. Like, it all adds up to who are you as a person, and who are you in terms of like managing risk. And some people are just degenerates, sometimes I get a bit carried away. Sometimes when I did the XRP trade, which I still remember and I still bang on about, um, I fucking aped. I fucking aped with big size because I knew in my heart of hearts that that was a ridiculously mispriced asset on the basis of some of the biggest fucking news. So, on occasion I will slip out and be a bit of a degenerate, but it's very, very rare. Well, being a trade is mostly the best trade. Hear that, Jack? Sit on your hands, buddy. Yeah. Crypto isn't fun anymore, but it used to be. It'll be fun again once everyone gives up. Yeah, I think so. So I think, from a cycle perspective, a lot of people think that crypto's dusted forever. And to be blunt, I think that in a way that it's too easy to launch a token. Right? There used to be a barrier to entry. And it was all I don't know, my studies years ago, like Porter's 5 Forces and competitiveness and ease of access or ease of entry to a market. The barriers to entry made crypto really difficult to get into, really difficult for people to participate in, and it made it, a smaller section of society that invested in it, bought it, and so on and so forth, right? Now, people can buy it through their banks. There's not much in terms of, upward trajectory. There's presidents launching meme coins. There's all this shit, right? it's not like it once was. But saying that, there's a lot of stuff that will come by again. There will be a new launch of something innovative in the space, right? We haven't seen it yet. If I knew what it was, I'd fucking do it myself. But NFTs, think of DeFi, think of everything like that. All of these things happened. There will be something else that happens. Even if it's like a ZEC run, right? ZEC run, Asta dropping. They were good trades when they came out. Trading on Asta, trading on hype, getting an airdrop like that. There's lots of things that are probably going to come out of crypto still, because it's still the most capital efficient way to deploy a lot of things. God, I love my accountant. What? As the Paragon Health Lab, I highly recommend you eat breakfast. What was my biggest loss and how did you cope with it? What, in terms of I lost this trade? I can't really think of my biggest losses. Normally I ask myself the question of would I do that again? I think my biggest loss in terms of what I actually regret is more of an opportunity cost loss, which was, I've had a few of them where I've sold bags that I just think, it's $2,000, it's $5,000, it's something like that. It's a reasonable sum of money, but to me, it's not going to change my life. And then, you sell it for a 10% pump, and then 2 weeks later, it's worth $10 million. And you're like, well, did I need that $5,000? No. Was the idea to hold it for a long time? Yes. Did I really want the risk? No. So, it's probably those. Yeah, SHIB was a big one. So SHIB was $1 billion. But with SHIB, it's very different because, the point that I was at in terms of my portfolio, it was such a big chunk that if I'd have round tripped that and it went to zero, I'd have felt like a fucking idiot. SHIB gave me my life, basically. So it's very, if you've got 10 million in the bank, I'd have held that forever, right? I wouldn't have given a fuck, but I didn't. So, it's a very different circumstance. And it's always really easy to look back and say, well, you should have taken on more risk, you should have pushed it, you should have done this. But actually, it would have been fucking stupid of me if I'd have given back all that money and then gone, right, well, I gotta get a job, boys. Can't actually afford to, pay anything off. Haven't got years and years and years and years and years and years of fucking living expenses sorted. Yeah, if someone said to you, do you want the next 10 years of your life for free, you'd fucking take it, right? That's pretty much the situation I was in with SHIB. So, yeah, there's a little bit of regret there in terms of obviously you should have held just 10% of it or 20% of it or some shit and just cashed out I don't know, whatever it would have been 50 million or something stupid just off that. But yeah, sometimes you just go with your gut. And bearing in mind, this is from someone who fucking sold pretty much everything up here. So my gut tells me, you know, to stop being fucking greedy. I also sold all of my crypto, like, way back here, largely because of what it was that week, but I literally sold everything here. So that was my alts, like, gone. And that was like before that, and this action here on FTX was just like unbelievable. Like, it was just alts just fucking died in that. So I kind of have sold tops of cycles twice. So yeah, if you don't ever sell, you never fucking take profits. I'm not saying necessarily this is the top of this cycle, right? I'm kind of hoping it's not. From a high time frame perspective, if you go on the weekly, this is still technically like a higher low, like from a monthly perspective, right? It's still bullish market structure, it just doesn't fucking feel like it. You've got this, you've got this, you've got this, just squinting out a higher low, but it's undeniable that momentum has kind of died off a bit. What the fuck is that beeping? Should be any beeping. There's it's my walking mat thing. I'm walking. I've burnt 17 calories apparently. Yes, get in. We're walking and we're doing crypto. What a fucking time to be alive, boys. What a time to be alive. Just send the coins to Magus? Yeah. Is football bets printing more than crypto? They are up and down. My last couple have not been very good. But obviously not financial advice, and I'm not sure it's even legal in the UK, so please, don't gamble, or gamble responsibly, or not financial advice, and so on and so forth. But gambling income in the UK is technically tax-free. So, yeah. Burn 17 calories, you've now earned a sausage biscuit. Bro, what? I didn't eat breakfast either, just coffee. Yeah, exactly, mate. Black coffee. Charlie, we're going to get on out? Maybe. I do look like I'm pregnant. Oh dear. Would you trade other non-crypto markets? I keep being tempted to, but to be honest, I'm enjoying a little bit of a break. I kind of need to decide what I want to do with the next 10 years of my life. I'm quite a strange time for me personally. Just, I don't know what the next 10 years holds. I feel like I've hit goals that I never thought I would achieve, and yeah, I don't really know if maybe in the next 10 years I can be useful to society in some way, but equally I don't know if I can be asked to do that. So feels like a bit of a waste of a relatively decent brain, just sitting here playing computer games all day. But yeah, we will see. I haven't found anything yet. I'm really just waiting for the market to tell me that this is going to be breaking up. That this is going to be a run to these highs of this range, and to hopefully a trending move to the upside, right? I think once we've got that will be a really good time to lock into some rotations. That'll be a really good time for me to earn my annual income amount. Hopefully it coincides with the start of the new tax year, because I've already raped this one. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I still like crypto. I still think that crypto is designed to pump. I still think a lot of the fundamentals on Bitcoin in particular are true, and they are only getting better, right? You gotta think that people are still buying. There's still this accumulation range here between 86 and 94k. Sailor is slowly consolidating the supply. Countries are slowly buying it. Companies are picking it up on their balance sheets. Like, I think the adage of the 4-year cycle, where we just go like this and we just go, like that over time, has changed massively. And I think, we're far more S&P correlated. And actually, I can see a scenario where, yeah, we pull back a bit, but then we just kind of carry on and meander up. Like, it's just far less extreme. What do I think of S&P? I mean, it looks pretty fucking solid, doesn't it? Looks like it just wants to blast up to all-time highs. If I look at this, as a breakout trader, no pun intended, you know, it looks pretty fucking sexual. It looks pretty decent. Don't think about society. Think about what will make you happier. Egoism is not a bad word. Yeah, true. ETH doodle accumulation. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm hoping for, mate. When we doodled that out on the stream, and I think there were 2 points to this. One is the length of time that I think actually it's going to be a lot more painful than people kind of think, and that was just my gut feel. It's not based on anything else. It's just based on I'd love to have started January with this fucking rip roaring market, running an uptrend and blah blah blah, but we haven't. That's not what's happened. And I need to respect the facts that are in front of me. So as I look at this, I go, well, what's kind of the most painful result? We fake a couple of highs, everyone gets excited. Everyone got fucking excited here, everyone got excited here, everyone got excited here. We do that a couple more times, everyone's gonna fucking give up. And then you fucking run it back turbo. Yeah? Do you guys have access to invest in S&P? I'm assuming higher expense ratios and fees. Yeah, we can invest as in English people. You're speaking about the English like we're third world or something, mate. You having a concert for us? Start sending us some fucking beans. Some beans for Britain. Copyright. I'm fucking copyrighting that right now. That's probably marketing genius. Look what I'm depriving the world of. You see what I mean? I could be a brand ambassador for Britain. 20k free investment tax every year. Yes, so you can invest 20 grand every year per person in like ISAs and stocks and shares in the UK. Not financial advice, blah blah blah. But for me personally, it's worth doing. You can also make pension contributions unless you earn over like 240k, and then I think it decreases by like I don't know what it is. It's like £1 for every £2.50 you earn or something. But so if you earn over like £350,000 a year, it's not fucking worth it. But I think you still get 10k free to pension contributions. But there's loads of little things you can do. Maybe I'll do a thread for like UK people on all the shit that I do to try and minimize my taxes, not avoid them, because I pay a metric fuck ton of tax. It's depressing as fuck. So, here you go. Here's what you could have had. Take 50% away from that and then shove it up your ass. Lovely. And then go wait in A&E with all the fucking drunks and the unemployed. Lovely. Great system you got there. Anyway. Yes, a SIP. You can do a self-invested pension pot. How do I get into stocks? Don't know, mate. I mean, I've got an account with Hargreaves Lansdown and a couple of others, and you can just chuck money in those kind of things. What position size do you use? Do you risk 1% per trade? I don't really risk 1% per trade anymore. I used to be very autistic about that and go, okay, well, every trade is 1%, but the reality is some trades are better than others. And yeah, I'm not going to go through my entire system and how I size, but some trades are better than others. If you've got price action, relative strength, breakout, good conditions, all those kind of things in your favor, you should be sizing more. Like, my sizing at the minute is mid-tier, yeah? My sizing in stronger conditions is better. It's higher. And I will risk anywhere between 1% and 3% of my account per trade. Most people think that contribution don't actually contribute most of the time. They donate or just doing it as a job to live. Yep. Go do something artsy or outdoorsy. Doesn't make money. Shouldn't have to worry about the money. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I've thought about teaching and things like that, but we'll see. Why don't you move elsewhere? Cheaper, better weather. It's family, mate. Like, a lot of people say that, right? A lot of people say that. A lot of people say, oh, why don't you just leave the UK? So, yeah, I've got like fucking 4 dying grandparents who are all in different stages of different things. My mum is literally, round the corner, helps with childcare and stuff like that. Like, not childcare, but me and my wife want to go out to dinner or whatever, and she'll do that. Same with my sister. So, the thought of being 6 to 8 hours away is just a bit much. And then you go, oh, it's nice weather abroad. And then you go, yeah, but what do you fucking do? Do you know what I mean? What am I going to do? Just sit inside, trade my shit coins? Yeah. See the conundrum? I'd be a good teacher. Cheers, mate. I mean, I've kind of been doing it for 4 years in the Paragon. A lot of people come out, and you get two lots of people, right? You get two lots of people. You get one lot who go, Charlie, I've got no idea how you fucking trade. You are a fucking autistic genius. Nobody I know can look at this. This is just unbelievable shit. And then you get the other people who go, fuck me, this makes total sense. Why was I ever bothering with fucking this dog shit trash here? Why was I trying to trade this when this just tells me exactly when I should enter and exactly what I should be fucking entering? Jesus Christ. This is a game changer. I've seen a few people. Nelly is one of them in the Paragon. You know, I see people try it. Some people get it. Some people don't. It's not a fucking retarded EMA system. Do you know what I mean? Oh, they've crossed, boys. Oh, Warren Buffett uses this exact signal every time. Oh, yes, he does. EMA gap crosses. That's how you become a billionaire. No, fucking nonsense. Yeah, knowing when to time the markets. Nah, I'm not saying that about Doc. Like, he doesn't use EMA crosses. He uses a lot more than that. But, my point is that if you could get rich by just drawing two lines on a fucking chart, you'd just trade an AI bot to fucking do it for you. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot more in it, like asset selection, timing around Bitcoin, timing around, relative strength, where your stops are, why are your stops there, what's going on, is there volume, is there not? Are people being aggressive in the books? Are people being defensive? Are people slamming in size? Are people slamming outside? So much. Fuck me, I'm gonna die. I'm actually talking a lot. And I've walked, what's this? I don't know, fucking 0.69 of a mile. Oi, steady. But yeah, it's difficult. And do I go into detail? Yes, absolutely. There's a series of 6 videos, I think, around my entire system, all of which could probably do with a little bit of updating, but they are principally the same thing that I do these days, and how I combine price action, some indicators like RSI, volume, and relative strength to create a trading system, to enter my trades, to exit my trades, and to manage my risk, right? Really simple. I think if you can't simplify your system, then, it becomes very difficult to teach. But when you've got those 3 things, relative strength, good price action, and, a lot of interest, then, yeah, it becomes pretty easy to see if trades are good, and therefore you can govern your size, and then when they go against you, and when you should be exiting and or taking profit. Charlie deserves an Oscar for his buffet impression. I'm not sure I do. I'm not sure he'd appreciate that, to be honest, but yeah. Zone 2M, you can talk while doing cardio. What does that mean? I mean, I'm kind of talking. I'm kind of running out of breath as well. So if you hear a big bang, then that's probably my head hitting my desk. And yeah, that's GG. Hope all's good. Yeah, cheers, Aidan. Okay, mate. It's all good. Yeah, you are late. Zone 2 is what you want to do a good amount of for longevity, which is basically an effort of cardio that allows you to talk. Excellent. Without being too easy. Yeah, I'm sweating a little bit. I'm kind of feeling like my breath is going. So yes, I'm reasonably unfit. But yes, we will come back to the Charlie Fitness later. Hype's a really good coin. I had plans to long it back here, as you saw. I missed it, but again, we're playing the same setups, right? It's range reclaims on relative strength. It was a really nice trade. I didn't catch it, so there'll be another one. Yeah, if the market's as godly as a lot of people think it is, then there's going to be another opportunity to get long on this. Personally, I think the opportunity comes when we pull back, retest this high, and potentially we go again, right? Simple as that. Monad, wow, what a fucking incredible pump. This shit's going to 0. I'm not even going to entertain this. It's the same as stuff like Asta, which is just programmed for fuck all. you know. Tried to trade this so many times, had a decent long from down here, had a decent long here, I think it was, and shaved it off when we sold off up here. But yeah, it's just so much is dead. So much is just not great. You can check out crude oil chart, reclaim long, yeah, of course. Crude oil futures. See, this is it. We're not even charting crypto anymore, lads. Yeah, fucking chart crude oil. Ooh. Yeah, it looks pretty nice, to be fair. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I mean, it's a fucking clear pivotal level. Massive downtrend. Yeah, fuck me. That is tasty as fuck. You know, to me, to you, we, going for something like this, you know, big dick swing long, fucking YOLO, boys. Fucking YOLO. Long quite some days, I like it. Black gold, way too cheap, yeah. Pump ready for a short. So for me, so this is really lovely alien algo. Really like this. I think you've got a lot of support across here, like a lot. So as long as it can hold here, yeah, it's a classic like, oh, it should hold. If it holds this level, it'll go up. Well done, Charlie. Fucking great work. But this is literally a great breakout opportunity in my mind. Really good. So when you're asking a question like, is pump ready for the next short? For what do you think it is? Do you think it's ready? What the fuck's going on with silver? I don't know, mate. A fucking short squeeze and just... I have literally no idea, by the way. Just fucking... I mean, that is the exact lower high that I love to short. But yeah, it's fucking brutal. Yeah, I'm not going to try and stand in the way of this. It's a freight train, boys. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking brutal. All we can hope is that this stuff goes into our digital gold, yeah? Pump ready for short? I think it is 30 minute. Alright, let's have a look. The reason I ask you to think about it is to, you know, kind of go, well, you know, what do you think? So, I like shorting at extremes, right? For me personally, and I know this is hindsight LARP, but you'll hear me say this time and time again, and you'll see me take shorts. And when you see me take shorts, you'll see one of these setups most likely all the time, right? So it's either this here, which is a failed breakout. So we've established a range because we've got the lows down here, we've got the highs up here, and we've, you know, tried to break out to the upside and we failed. And when we fail in there, that gives us an entry, and our stop is above here, right? We've also got a div going across these, yeah? Not the best, but from a 30-minute time frame, still a divergence. Still tells you what your eyes tell you, which is this rotation has come a long way. And the two of those combined, failure to break out at a range high, a deviation, and the divergence in terms of momentum tell you that this could be a pretty decent entry for a short. Now, I don't like shorting range lows in general, right? So shorting here is a bit of a misnomer for me. So I understand why you think, yeah, okay, you know, it's losing momentum, blah, blah, blah. But at this point here, we've reset on the RSI. So we're back at 50 in terms of momentum. This has been one of the strongest coins the past couple of days, right? And what we tend to see on coins like this is a strong move, a consolidation, and then another strong move. So I would be more inclined to long it than short it, right? And to test my hypothesis, I'd be looking at this. If you look at this rotation, Pump is one of the strongest coins on this rotation still. Now, if that wasn't true, if it was one of the weaker coins down here, and this is why I love spaghetti so much, it's saying, Charlie, like, you're trying to short one of the strongest assets on this rotation. Do you really want to do that? Is your price action signal so strong that it can invalidate this? And for me personally, the answer is no, right? Not where it is. Maybe at this high here, yeah, I'd take it, but at this low here, no. So, like I said, I'd be more inclined to be entering on the long side of this for the next leg up. It doesn't mean you should take this trade. It doesn't mean you should take a short trade. It doesn't mean anything, right? It's just purely my thoughts. I'm probably not going to take this trade. So yeah. But hopefully that makes sense in terms of my thought process. And you either learned something, or I've affirmed your view, or whatever. Fuck me, I might have to stop this in a minute. Whew. You are welcome for my explanation. You are always welcome to ask me questions. Whether I answer them is obviously a different scenario, but yeah. Have any of you used Breakout, by the way? And if you have, I hope you use my code. You so many indicators. I need to be getting EMAs. Yeah, it's good, man. Yeah, you know, I think Fartcoin has a decent run at some point. So if I'm looking at this, you know, this looks pretty nice. But I'm a little bit late on that entry. Yeah. The entry I wanted was like here. Big sell-off, repump. It's a bit messed up. Yeah, I'm gonna like remain cautiously optimistic. Yeah, I think it's better to be bullish down at these lows than bearish. Personally, I think that the time to be fully bearish was up here, which I was. Here, let's just do it properly. Yeah, here, it looks like shit, right? We are losing momentum, heading down into range lows, but do we really want to play that breakout trade? Maybe we do. You know, maybe this is the breakout trade, the easiest breakout trade you've ever fucking played, and it looks something like this, yeah? You know, because no one would cry about that if it's to the long side, but as soon as you put it's a short, people get all up in the air and upset about it, yeah? But do I personally want to take it? Probably not. The invalidation is actually much tighter than that. It's probably something like this, right? Think about Alibaba. Wow. Testing it now before, suggesting quite a simple system. Fartcoin holding well, yeah. So as everyone's talking about AI bots, I'm pretty sure you thought about automating your system, so why did you not work on that? Yeah, I kind of can't be bothered, to be honest. We also take a look on Kaito. Yeah. Oh, mate, I don't give a fuck about Twitter. I gave up giving a shit about Twitter a long time ago. Like almost all the people who I once respected on there. There's like a few core set of people who I still respect, but yeah, a lot of them just it's gone, and yeah, Twitter's just not what it was. I mean, it looks good. I'm terrible at trading this kind of structure where you've got this like rounded parabolic structure without any kind of consolidation to play ranges and breakouts. Twitter is rot. I hate all the info fight shit. Yeah, that's kind of it. So yeah, for me, it's like lower high, lower high, lower high. It's not hugely exciting, but obviously on a high time frame basis, it's better. But there's nothing low time or like medium time frame that suggests, for me personally, a good entry. Kaito, I mean, it looks in the bin. The whole info fight narrative is pretty dead. I think just because the chart's gone down 90% doesn't mean that it's a good buy, right? Probably means that it's good buy, not a good buy. Real shitpost make my day. Yeah. Yeah, I love shitposting, man. I got called a fucking retard by Tristan Tate the other week. I mean, that is just hilarious to me, right? It's just like this little cunt who's, an accountant just posting shit on fucking social media, posts a meme, and then him and his big brother just like going, wow, 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 he could buy a Lambo every 2 minutes. Wow, 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 wow. Imagine getting so fucking tilted by a cartoon character on the internet that you feel that needs to respond. Unbelievable. But no, they are clearly very strong. They're crybabies. Yeah, kind of. I mean, to be fair to them, they must get a fuck ton of abuse all the time because they're just controversial figures. They've also got millions of followers between them and probably a lot more money than I'll ever have in my life. But yeah, it is what it is. Novo Nordisk? What's that, brother? Sounds like some sort of fucking virus. I typed it into Google and my Bored Apes went. Classic gag. Yeah, so much shit. There's just not that much that's interesting, right? Or at least not that I can see anyway. But, like I said, I'm leaning the fuck in if we get a decent rotation. And maybe the good coins have started that rotation for us, right? Maybe they have. Yeah, we're starting to get a bit of a decent move here. And maybe we're being led by coins that are actually decent, like Hype and Pump. I think Pump Fund is mass extractive, has killed the industry in so many different ways, but it was still an innovation. There was still plenty of opportunities to turn $1,000 into $1 million. So, Novo's GLP-1 weight loss drugs. Ah. Cheers, Justin. Do IREN? Oh, we talked about IREN before, but I kind of can't be fucked to do stocks, boys. I'm probably just going to leave it tonight. We talked about this last time. Running up, same thought processes before, breaking out of this consolidation, long there, run it to new highs. That was the old thought process on IREN. But I think for me, it's just a case of sitting tight just a tiny bit longer. Bitcoin breaks this downtrend. We get some good rotations. Good rotations on alts are probably going to be the same ones. It's probably going to be Filecoin, probably going to be Pump, it's probably going to be Hype. We've played this game before now, right? We should know what to expect. And we should be in a position where we can just play a few nice rotations. We'll give a little bit back at the end, and then job done. Why did you not buy the IRM bags? Because I can't be bothered to trade at the minute, mate. Like, especially stocks. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, there's no... Like, all I'm doing is applying price action to it, right? I've got no idea what IRN does, why it would be a good stock to buy, or anything like that. Whereas, like, all this shit, I can tell you what most of these projects do or don't do because they're a meme, or they're whatever, yeah? And I can see via this that these are the better ones to trade. It gives me that confidence. I think it's very difficult to explain to someone that, like, how do you essentially bet thousands and thousands of dollars that a number on a screen is going to go up? And, like, this is what gives me that confidence. You know, price action gives you invalidation. Spaghetti gives you strength. Yeah, you just trusted your mate. Yeah, that's fair, man. I mean, but I don't trust your mate. Do you know what I mean? Pippin running so fucking hard. Yeah. Supply bundle garbage, mate. You know, I hit a few nice trades at the end of the year on like Pippin, MYX, and all this kind of dog shit. They are fun to trade with small size, right? You know, I'm not fucking smashing in a few hundred grand like every single trade. Do you know what I mean? It's on the smaller side. Hold small percent. Like I said, I'm a good stop. Nice. Oh shit. Let's throw my ring about. Sounds a bit gay. Yeah, I think on that bombshell, boys, I might just piece it. Piece it in like an hour. I think we've done a pretty good one. I'm like genuinely, if we start moving on BTC and breaking that downtrend, I think we need to be like everyone needs to be like a bit locked into some more rotations because you know people have been bored for so long. When we start breaking this, I'm reclaiming this. This is the trade for me, and this is the general sentiment shift as well, right? I think that's genuinely the only play at the minute. But not financial advice, etc., etc. Anyway, on that bombshell, I'd encourage you to like the video and all that kind of wonderful stuff. Any comments, chuck them in the comments, feed them back to me. Closing off the stream, shouting out to all my partners at Breakout Prop, who are obviously powered by Kraken. We've got this giveaway going on until the 2nd of February. So if you are a new user of Breakout Prop, i.e. a new email account, cough cough, and you purchase an evaluation, they're going to give away 3 $10,000 evaluations for free to someone. Obviously not all 3 to 1. I think it's 3 to probably separate ones or 3 chances at one. To whoever signs up during this period. So have a good stream. Have a good stream. Have a good evening. I'm going to turn this thing off before I fucking die. We burnt 112 calories. Happy days. There's less of me to love now. And yeah, sign up to Breakout Prop. Use code Charlie. Love you and leave you. And see you same time next week. Au revoir.